Hey y'all, it is May the 31st, 2020. All right, we're having an easy Sunday morning. I'm trying to get my wherewithal and stuff. Like I woke up just not too long ago, maybe half an hour ago. So now I'm gonna put like a pretty impromptu. We're gonna go a little bit willy-nilly today, broadcast, but of course. The title is appropriate for anybody who stumbles in this morning. I think we're going to find the title of the stream to be very appropriate. That is the theme for today, all right? So although we don't know exactly what we're going to find, I think we're going to have some fun, all right? I'm a little bit late. It's not like you could tell, but I'm a little bit later than I wanted to be, just to say there's stuff I got to do this morning. For sure. I got some stuff that I got to do, right? And into the afternoon, likely the whole day. I think I got some stuff. And so I'm running a little bit late on it. We're going to see if we can power pack a broadcast into 1 hour today. We're going to see about it. But there's crucial things that I got to discuss with people. And, without further ado, the thing is there is no time to wait on it necessarily. Wanted to get it out, all right? And so I thank y'all for coming out, checking out the recording, and for anyone who might stumble in here and give me some sort of insight on what it is that we're about to be talking about. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty, like I said, chaos and destruction as of last night, I don't think, I'd hate to be breaking this to you, but you probably already know. Especially in consideration for America, all right? And of course, all sort of chaos around the world, and I can't deny that. Shout out to everybody up in the struggle. It got really weird last night. All over America, it seems, especially in these major cities, some smaller cities, and in fact, some stuff went down in San Antonio, all right? Couldn't even believe it, all right? I'm here to tell you, very awkward. Does not seem organic, really, necessarily in the least, but we're going to take a look into it. Before we get into it, I don't know what we want to be even looking at. Look, here's my, wait, hold on, let's go to my YouTube, what do you call it? My YouTube feed, all right? And we're going to take a look through that in a second. But before we get into not only my YouTube feed, but we are going to have to talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine. So probably towards the end of this broadcast, you can expect it. For those people who've been wanting to get down to the bottom of this whole Tekashi 6ix9ine situation, I think we have the keys, right? So we're going to have to talk about it before we get out of here. But before we dive into the nitty gritty, I want to say this. Shout out to a whole bunch of people, all right? We're probably going to shout out people throughout this broadcast. We got people all around the world. But especially shout out to my man T out there, and he knows who I'm talking about. That's him specifically. I don't want to say his name because I don't know if his name wants to be out there yet, all right? But my man T, he was discussing with me. A discussion that I've had with a number of people on the internet and also in real life in person. All right, and he was discussing with me the other day the idea of him and his friend. They were playing around with the idea of starting a podcast. Right now we're on a live stream. All right, those familiar with that world. I mean, a live stream is a lot like a podcast. In fact, podcasts can be happening during the live stream. It could be the same thing. The live stream is just that it's live, right? And you can have interaction, which is that's the main delineation, and also it's an extremely crucial benefit, right? That much I can promise, to get some input. Right, that's why radio people have been doing it for a long time. The call-in shows. You're gonna want that, and the internet provides for all sort of commentary and stuff in the comment section. All right, you're gonna benefit from that. All right, but shout out to my man T. Here's the thing he was considering, just like I've known a lot of people to do, considering going into the podcasting thing. He thinks like he has something to say. All right. And I met a lot of people in the position where they think like they have something to say. And I want to talk to those people, as I've done privately, I want to talk to y'all very publicly. For people who you think you have something to say, first of all, your thoughts are not your own, right? And I know that's kind of a deep topic. We're not going to dive too deep into that. But you think that you have something to say, right? What I'm here to tell you on a very personal note is yes, you freaking do. You really do. You have something to say, right? You thinking you have something to say is a damn lie. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second, but you do have something to say. It's whether or not you say it. It's whether or not you're going to go ahead and say it. And as I mentioned to my man T, I want to say is lots of times you might have a voice in your head or whatever. It's something that's saying, I don't know if I do. I don't know if I have something to say. I don't know if I'm capable of saying it in front of everybody, because it might be, I don't know, controversial, or it might be, some people might not like it. It might get me into trouble. I don't know. I don't know if I should, I don't know if I am the right person to be saying this. You have different various thoughts like this. I don't know if I'm the right person to be saying it. I'll let you know, there is nobody who's more right in saying it, all right? Or if that is the question, all right? Because nobody's thinking the same thoughts. People are thinking the same thoughts, yeah, but nobody's thinking them in the exact combination that you are. The only right person to be saying those things that you've been thinking about is you. There is nobody else, in fact. Nobody else can say these things. And that is the trouble. And that's what I'm trying to coax people into doing. It's like nobody else is going to say what's on your mind right now. And people want to desperately know what is on your mind right now. And you think maybe that's not the case. It absolutely is the case, like you wouldn't believe. All right. And I'm not only just speaking on my own experience, because I've experienced that, but I've seen it out in the internet world. It doesn't matter who you are, color, shape, denomination. People want to hear what you're going to say, right? And it's only the hurdle of, there's certain hurdles in a personal way in between you and getting onto a podcast or getting onto a live stream. It's those personal hurdles. People lots of times probably don't feel comfortable, like I said, expressing their thoughts over the internet, right? Because they know it's going to get recorded. They know people ain't going to forget what you said. You might say the wrong thing. You might mess around and say the wrong thing, right? A lot of us are not experienced at communicating our thoughts very well. Like, for example, I definitely wasn't when I started off this YouTube thing. In fact, that was a big reason why to start off this here YouTube thing, right? Because I couldn't say anything. I didn't know how to say anything. I couldn't put thoughts together and put them out verbally, not put them together in front of you and stuff. Just having that problem. That is a muscle memory type thing, right, in your brain. That sort of thing will develop over time. Don't even have to worry about that. Have you ever heard of like some expert in the field in whatever field, and you're watching a video on the internet and there's some sort of expert, like they're a doctor, this and that, and you want to know about this topic, and it seems like they're talking about this topic at a mile a minute, and you become very enthralled in that. You say, oh man, this person's an expert. I like what they're saying because I'm learning from it. And they're talking so fast. How do they talk so fast? The reason they talk so fast is because this stuff is what they know. They've been doing it. Whatever it is they're talking about. And in fact, talking about it, that takes repetition. That takes practice. That takes you doing it daily just because. All right. And after a while, it's just going to all spill out. And you don't have to worry about it. That's the main hurdle. People don't like to be in front of a camera, right? I was definitely one of these people. And it's something I know I'm not on camera right now, all right? But that's just because I have limited technology. We're going to work on that. And, probably in the next coming months. That is, if chaos and calamity doesn't spill out all over our worlds, right? But getting into it, it's not only shot on to T, right? Say I appreciate you out there, and I think people want to hear from you. But to everybody out there who might be considering it, all right, of course, we don't want to be overwhelmed with this technology and stuff like that. You got to make sure to stay in the real world. Perhaps have a garden, All right, I'm gonna give you an update on the garden today and stuff, and show you it's miraculous. All right, all credit to the Lord. All right, and we're very thankful. You gotta get back out in nature. Obviously, some people definitely are, and also incorporate this podcast to your own liking, basically on your own schedule. People are gonna come out by the droves after a while, and you might start off with nobody. Like, for example, there's nobody in my live stream right now, right? But it's Sunday morning. I didn't tell anybody I was gonna be here. That's the beauty of a live stream, is that it gets recorded and people can hear it later. Really doesn't matter who's in the building. What matters is that you say what you mean to say, right? And that's what people, they knew, but they're coming to know it more and more. Is that it doesn't matter, and you do have a right to say what is on your mind right now. And if you're not like being violent or whatever, some people causing them harm, then what is the harm in it? All right. And in fact, that's one of the things that we base this here country on, America. All right. I can't talk about other countries. Thing is, before you get into it, and I suggest you get into it today. All right. There is no other time. There is no tomorrow. Your tomorrow is going to go into another tomorrow. It's just like a figment of your imagination. Do it today. But when you start to do it, know this. You're going to start to say things more than you used to say them. You're going to start saying all sort of things. Now you're going to start saying things that you never probably said before. All right? Anybody who's watched Joe Rogan or any one of these podcasts out here, you talk for hours. You're going to say some things you never said before. All right? And so the rule of thumb, I want to elaborate on it a little bit. People, what they're finding out is, you might say something. It might be bad. It might be wrong. You might have been misled. Maybe you said it wrong. All right. Never apologize. When people call out for your apology and say you're wrong, oh, we found you on the internet, you said this thing that was wrong, and now you're a bad person, you need to apologize for it. See, that's what a lot of people are scared about. Before we get into the nitty gritty, I just wanted to point that out. A lot of people are scared about that. What if I said something's wrong? Someone's going to find it. They're going to demand my apology. And as we can see, through cancel culture, they're going to want to ruin my life. All right? Through trial and error, just seeing it from other people's experiences. Obviously, a lot of people figured out at this point, don't ever, ever, ever apologize. It's only going to give you more grief. So therefore, that's something you don't even have to think about. Oh, am I going to have to apologize? Hell no. I'm not going to have to apologize for anything. And, but just to elaborate on that rule, that's a rule that people know now. Right? So know this, when you're getting into that game, the podcast game, the live stream game, you're never going to have to apologize for nothing. In fact, that's a bad idea. But also, you're going to be probably introspective. You're going to realize that some of the things you said weren't exactly accurate later on. Even an Alex Jones is out there. Shout out to the man. All right. Everybody knows it. Everybody. Alex Jones, even he'll come back and say, oh, that thing that I said earlier was a little bit inaccurate. I didn't realize, blah, blah, blah. And whatever's the situation. All right. Thing is, if you go into this game that we're playing on the internet where we can be deleted and we can be incriminated for the public, when you're playing this game, right, what I would have to suggest wholeheartedly, which is kind of appropriate, is that you put your heart into it. You put your heart, if your heart is in the right place when you start this thing, it doesn't matter what you say, if it's right or wrong. What matters is that you are trying to be right. And what matters is that there's other people out there who's legitimately trying to get it right. Right? And we might make mistakes. So who cares? Right? There's different things you might say. Who would want to hear my stupid voice? right? It sounds stupid. Who wants to see my stupid face? Nobody's gonna want to. There's, I don't know how much the numbers is, but there's gonna be hundreds and hundreds of people eventually who's gonna want to see your stupid face. Is gonna want to hear your dang voice, and hear the way that you articulate your thoughts, and they're gonna fall in love with it, and it's gonna blow your mind. It doesn't even make sense, but it may happen. I see that there's a straggler up in the building this Sunday morning. All right, I don't know how much time you have, but I appreciate you for dropping through. We just got done with the rant. You probably caught the tail end of it. Just to sum it up again, and this is a shout out to my man T, and he has a friend, and they were thinking about starting a podcast. You need to today, actually, right? You might have limited technology. Trust me, I'm the king of limited technology, right? You need to start today, however you can. It doesn't matter what's the topic. It doesn't matter what you want to talk about. Just talk about it, and they're gonna love it. They are going to love it. Oh, they're gonna love it and gobble it up. Don't worry about the numbers. The numbers will come. It's not about the numbers. It's about how good you are at doing what you're doing. And like I said, you're going to start off like a baby bird. You're not going to be very good at it. But with time, they will come. Don't you worry about it. The thing is, like I said at the end of this broadcast, we plan to talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine, and for good reason. And for good reason. But know that I said this. You need to go out there and start having a podcast and the live stream and this and that, because nobody can express the thoughts that are going on in your head better than you can, and someone's gonna love it. All right, they're gonna fall in love with it. The reason is because you are stinking amazing, like really amazing, miraculous. Right, and I'm not even just putting you on, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the evidence that I have for this. And when we're talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine, anyways, shout out to the person up in the building. I'll keep an eye on the comments just in case if you want to put a comments. But we're going to see if we can power pack this here broadcast. Let me see how far we're into it right now. Limited technology. It says 17 minutes in, so we got some time. Like I said. Shout out to T, shout out to everybody. I want to encourage you to do so. I have limited technology, but I would love to live stream with you, or just converse with you and cahoot with you and everything like that. I want to collude with you on the internet. All right, I can't wait to do it. I have limited technology, but I'm down. I'm down. I have a weird schedule, but I am down. Anyways, let's take a look at the YouTube feeds. Right, which is something we don't do too much on this here channel, but I just wanted to take a look at it because I woke up not too long ago and to chaos, just as I thought I would. I mean, it's not surprising. If you know anything about anything, you probably know that there's also first of all, we need to take the word protest and throw it in the garbage right now. All right. None of this has anything to do with protests or protesters, despite what the media would have you believe. Nobody's protesting out there. And if they are, we're not even talking about those people. It has nothing to do with those people. Chaos and calamity, all right, all throughout these major towns. No, it has nothing to do with a protest. That is a riot. They are rioting, all right? I don't care how it started. It ended with them rioting. All right, and everybody knows it. It's like, picture me apologizing for saying, like, picture me a week from now apologizing for saying this. Everybody knows this, all right? And if you dispute it, yeah, I would love to hear from you, but also it doesn't matter what you dispute. Riots, all right? Especially in some of these major towns, and I knew it was going to happen. The thing is, I was considering having a live stream last night, actually. I was on the fence about doing it. I was kind of like worn down from the week and stuff. I put in a little bit of extra hours this past Friday night. And so, but I was a little bit worn down. What I wound up doing is I strolled down to a Bubba's 33, right? And y'all might not have heard of it, but it's a nice little restaurant. I don't know how many there are out there at Bubba's 33, but it's a nice little restaurant to go to. I like it. It's a bar and grill and stuff. Little neighborhood bar and grill. And it's not that little. It's actually kind of big, and it's very nice. I like it. I've been going to it the past few weeks, And so I went there and I got a tall Alamo Golden Ale. The thing is, I'm talking about regional, local type stuff. But if you ever had a chance to get an Alamo Golden Ale, specifically because they have an amber ale, they have a pale ale, and stuff like that. But the Alamo Golden Ale is just tip top. All right, it doesn't get any better. There might be beers out there that's just as good, but it doesn't get better than it. So I go down to the neighborhood bar and grill, right? Bubba's 33, and I get it's on tap actually. All right, I can get a tall glass of the Bubba's 33, and I have them give me what they call fire fries, which are just fries that are real spicy and honey mustard. And I don't want to get into the details and stuff, but it's a great time. All right, and sometimes I invite people to come out with me, maybe have a beer and stuff. If not, I just go by my dang self. Really doesn't matter to me. Some people can't do it like that, but I do. All right. So I went down there again, had a tall beer, and then I had another beer, just because like I'm easy to, I'm an easygoing person, right? If you keep asking me questions, I'll order another beer and stuff. So I did. Anyways, I came back and a little bit feeling it. I was feeling it a little bit. I was feeling myself. And so I was coming back. I was thinking about maybe putting together a stream. But then I went into the feeds and stuff, and I saw the chaos and the calamities that was spilling out last night. And I became kind of enthralled with people talking about it. I caught, shout out, I'm going to try to shout out to everybody, but shout out to Steven Crowder, because I was checking out his stream. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people do like him, all right? A lot of people like him. And he was doing a stream covering it and stuff. And I was enthralled by it. And I was also a little bit tired, like I said. The beers, the fries, they weighed me down. And I wound up passing out probably around midnight. I think around midnight. Passed out like hard, like a sack of potatoes. And all right, and then I actually stayed asleep until about 8 o'clock probably, or 8, a little bit after 8. Yeah, it must have been after 8, and I didn't even get up off the floor till maybe like 9 o'clock. I don't know what it was. Anyways, that is okay. I brought that all up to say that that's why I didn't do a live stream last night, and so I figured I'd do a live stream this morning. And I gotta let you know about the experience too, also. All right, because real briefly, we've been discussing on this channel the masks and people being dumb, people being dum-dums and doing stuff that doesn't even make sense, all in the name of safety or whatever, giving away their rights and everything, basically in a satanic ritual. And a lot of them don't know it, but to hide their face, their stupid face, because you're made in the image of God. And so put a mask over that. That's really what this is. It doesn't have no efficacy. And people say, oh yeah, but they've been doing it in Asia for a long time. Yeah, that's because their air is so damn polluted, right? And might I say that when your air is so damn polluted like that, that is an act of war. You are at war, right? There's like, that's why you smoke someone out of a hole, all right? Because you're going to war with that person. Right, so if you had to walk around in the country with masks on your face because it's so damn polluted, or you got all these so-called viruses, then you're at war. All right. I don't know if I'm breaking that to anybody. All right. So it's not going to happen. We're realizing in San Antonio, which is a very unique place, even in the United States, we're off to our own. We're very unique in certain ways, and I think we lend a very important perspective, right? And we're going to talk about that probably real briefly before we get out of here. The San Antone, good old San Antone. All right. Okay, we were talking about the protests, right? They're not protests, and they're riots and stuff, and all that calamity that was spilling out. And no, it doesn't make sense, right? I think we've already discussed why George Floyd, that people don't know anything about George Floyd, and certainly I didn't know him from anybody else in the world until like a few days ago, right? As far as justice, this has nothing to do with justice, because if it had anything to do with justice, from what I understand, the officer who put the knee on the neck of George Floyd until dead, that person's received already all sort of justice, to include being arrested, to include getting divorced from by a pretty Asian lady, I guess. Um, all sort of things. He's definitely been fired and stuff. His life is in a topsy turvy. I don't know how much more justice it could even be. All right. Um, it's okay. None of it made sense, right? In all these other major cities, and a list that I can't even. I don't know if it's posted on the internet. I've heard of a lot of different major cities. It has nothing to do with Minnesota, Minneapolis. I mean, the furthest place on the earth, probably from Minneapolis, Minnesota, is San Antonio, Texas. Not to speak geographically, but it's just like we have nothing to do with them. And a lot of cities probably could say the same, to include Atlanta, Georgia, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas. I was seeing Calamity. Um, those don't make any sense, right? And they're not looking for justice. It is just riots. The media is just saying that, oh, it's mostly peaceful. Who cares what it's mostly, right? When they're burning down auto zones and targets and everything else. It's real bad, and you know it's even worse. Perspective that I had to land out there is that San Antonio, like I said, is a world apart from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and it has nothing to do with anything that's happening over there, and yet and still there was riots here. Well, I don't even know if they were like halfway riots, right? And I heard about, actually, let's see, let's just type it in to get a visual. I heard that there was going to be, quote, protest before the fact. George Floyd, and I still don't have transportation at this moment. And I certainly was going to check it out. If I did have transportation, likely I wouldn't even be checking this out, and not even in the distance looking at this thing. All right. So apparently they were having, quote, rallies about it, and none of these people are seeking justice. That's what's interesting. And just to speak specifically about San Antonio, so that y'all can get an insight. It's a big city, sort of, and stuff. We're spread out. We're not exactly like New York, damn city, where everybody's on top of each other. We got some space and stuff, but it's a lot of people. All right? People have definitely been killed by the police, for sure. And nothing's happened. And I'm talking about people in San Antonio. So that could run the gambit for all shades of people, right? We have all shades of people. But the most likely people actually to get, say, killed by the police would be brown people and white people, because that's what's mainly in San Antonio. That's just statistics. And in fact, to me, it seems like, I don't know, I could be just BSing, but the mixture of brown and white people, I don't know, I feel like we're targeted sometimes by the police. But I wouldn't say targeted, but it's just to say, it don't matter. In San Antonio, you can get killed by the police, and it has happened before, and it has happened by accident, and it has happened under circumstances that didn't make sense. All right, and people have been unarmed, and that's happened in San Antonio, and it's never not happened in San Antonio. And why would anybody be concerned about what's happening in Minnesota? They're not, right? And okay, there's a couple of things that we definitely had to go over as we take a look at San Antonio. Look, there's footage. There was stuff happening in San Antonio. Who cares? Why would you ever care? I definitely don't care. I'm just saying, yeah, we need justice. The court systems and stuff's all bogged down in the way that we're not getting justice. We haven't been getting justice in a long time. So to think that your media controls you so hard that they can get you out in the streets and acting a damn fool just because they told you a story, meanwhile, it's like you don't understand history, even recent history. All right, it's mind blowing. All right. Okay, so it is happening in San Antonio, and there's a couple wild, wacky things happening in San Antonio. All right, to include the other day, the Alamo Cenotaph, which I know you don't know what that is. I barely know what that is. A big old statue, and it has something to do with the Alamo. It's called the Cenotaph. That actually got graffiti the other day, and I don't want to be like Googling all sort of stuff, but That got graffiti the other day, and they said down with it. The graffiti said down with white supremacy, down with cops. Um, what did it say? Something about justice or something like down with America, basically. And it was written in red spray paint on the cenotaph. That's extremely disrespectful, right? None of this made sense to begin with. None of it did. But when you consider San Antonio, um, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even close to make sense. Because, like I said, this got spurred on by George Floyd, even though who knows what's the opinions of George Floyd. He's gone. And it got spurred on by, we have nothing to do with Minnesota. And white supremacy, well, that's interesting because if I go to the police department, I might notice that there's all sort of brown people in it. And a lot of the white people have, quote, Hispanic last names. And so what the hell are you talking about? It's over the top, doesn't make sense. All right? Here's the thing. I'm not here trying to figure out why they spray painted that on the Alamo Cenotaph. I will tell you, just so that you know, and you can look it up if you wanted. People, to include the UN, they have a, quote, master plan for the Alamo. You might not have ever heard of this, but yeah, they do. They've had it for years. In which they want to move all sort of stuff around. Real briefly, they don't have the right to move shit around in San Antonio. Not a damn thing. All right, but they're going ahead with it because we got a mayor who's the worst of the worst. And that's what I want to stress to people out there. Yeah, he blends into the background. Yeah, he's a Mexican Obama. Yeah, he looks like Dennis the Menace who growed up and got a tan. Yes, he's ineffective. Yes, he sucks. He's boring. He's the worst of the worst. I'm here to say because he'll try to get all sort of stuff done, to include move around stuff from the Alamo like that makes any sense. He's excavating and stuff. Anyway, somebody wrote something about white supremacy on it. Literally, although it doesn't make sense, in San Antonio it makes the least amount of sense. That is to say, quite clearly, that's not the only evidence, but there's much more evidence, and then this whole thing is being provocateur. Yes. If you're waiting for me to say that word, provocateur, yes, it is 100%. 172% is this provocateur for sure. And people are going to have to start to wrap their heads around it in a way that they just haven't had to before. And of course, it's been deleted all over YouTube, just like any of these viral videos are getting deleted off of YouTube. We're going to see if we can find it, because I've seen it before. In fact, my friends, to include Anaconda Malt Liquor, shout out to him. There's all sort of people who deserve shout outs. All right, but he posted up a video. Maybe we'll see it if it hasn't got deleted. I know it was deleted before. All right, a provocateur. Wrap our heads around this, okay? Because some of us already do. I bet you the person up in it who's watching me right now, they probably already know all about it. In fact, they've probably been wanting me to say provocateur for a long, long time. I've been saying it kind of for a long, long time. Wrap our heads around this. Provocateur. In San Antonio? Why would we ever care? You get some dum-dums out there, you get them all emotional because they're so zapped out of their brains that they actually listen to the media and get emotional about it. And they come out and they're led. They're led. They cannot do anything on their own. They are halfway brain dead. They are led by who? Provocateurs. That's who. 100% evidence. But I think we need to wrap our heads around it because we've been talking about it for a while. And in fact, just to take it back to Parkland, which I know only some people even remember what that is. It was the so-called mass shooting. I don't know if we could say that. All right? And in which a lot of people have a lot of different theories, largely provocateur. There was provocateurs involved. I've done so much. I mean, the thing is, prove to me how it wasn't. All the evidence points towards it. There was provocateurs up in the building. And in that same sense, here you go, you got it again. Let's see if I can find Anaconda Malt Liquor, if I can navigate. Like I said, shout out to the man. He gets deleted like nobody's business. It's all sort of people. Shout out to Kelsey Martini, by the way. And I mean it. Go ahead and subscribe to her stuff. It's real good. It's funny, at least it's thought provoking. I know it's very controversial, and I don't say I'm not endorsing the message. I'm just saying I'm endorsing the effort. It's hard to find. Here's the thing. What I wanted to mention also about YouTube is that they're not trying to improve their program here on YouTube, right? In fact, I think the president's going to have to go to war with YouTube in a second. But if they were trying to improve it, I would say, and I guess technically you could do it on your own, but I would like to have different subscription fees. And just to say, because some people don't upload all the time, and they fall between the cracks because I don't notice all their stuff all the time. All right, but there's some people who are very prolific in uploading, and I'll notice them all the time. And I wish I could separate them. All right, like say small YouTubers from big YouTubers. Technically, you could do that on your own if you had a couple different accounts. But I was not smart enough to do that. All right. In fact, I could do it right now, but that would be very tedious, wouldn't it? I got myself into a situation, but check this out. Anaconda Malt Liquor, just in case if y'all don't know him, he might have this posted up again. Look at this. Agent Provocateurs, right? Drive that message home. Yes. Yes, it's been happening. And sometimes when I bring it up to people, I can tell that their mind doesn't wrap around it necessarily. When I say, okay, it's obvious. First of all, co-workers of mine who I've talked to, a lot of them already seen this video in which we're going to show. Let's see if we can show it without buffering. Anaconda Malt Liquor done got 1,000 views, even though he's the most shadow banned and censored person on YouTube. I bet you he's one of them. He, for sure, he is definitely on the front lines. Okay, he's already got 1,000 within a day. People seen this. And not only that, they've been seeing it everywhere else, to include World Star Hip Hop. Yeah, that's right. Everybody's seen this. So the idea of this, although it was beyond people's imaginations, most people, right? Since a sincere change. I'm here to. I mean, you probably already felt it, but here is 100% evidence. We're going through a change like you wouldn't believe. And so this provocateur thing, people are wrapping their head around it because they're seeing it with their own eyes in this video. They're seeing exactly what it is. Without further ado, let me see if we can play this video.
But check this out. So you remember, and I'll just show you that again here.
Oh man, I thought I had the speaker plugged in.
Video, and I kind of praised this dude for calling out.
Alright, I know the audio is I don't know how good the audio is when it's coming in as far as the recording, but I'll go ahead and basically narrate it for you if you can't hear it, because I thought I had the speaker plugged in. Apparently that's not plugged in. That's whack. But okay, we're seeing right here a scene, and it's before Calamity all spills out. I don't know if I think it might be in Minnesota. It's in one of these cities. Alright, before Calamity all spills out. And let me make sure that the lighting is good, because I know on my phone it's not so bright. I like to keep it dim, right? I don't know if you see exactly what's on my screen or how that works. But anyways, like I said, here's the video. Okay, look at this guy. It's like, look at this guy. Alright, I think we might have missed him smashing the windows. We're going to see if there's... This looks like the video that was captured right after he smashed the windows. But did you see this guy? You probably already seen it. But for everybody else out there who hasn't seen this, this is what's being deleted off of YouTube specifically. Right now today, this is the most deleted video. There's all sort of videos being deleted, obviously. This is the most deleted video that you're watching right here.
Calling out the cop, the guy with the pizza box here.
Alright, so right here what you're seeing is this little black boy. He's got his pizza box for some reason. He's calling out this guy who's dressed up in all sort of disguise, like looking like an alien with a gas mask on and an umbrella. I'm not sure why, but it looks very ominous. Alright, and this guy's asking him why. We see if we can see a video from him smashing the windows. But the young man is asking him, what the hell are you doing smashing these windows? See, it's a breaking point. All right. There's a point in which people are pretty well mannered, and they're not breaking stuff. And then as soon as someone starts breaking stuff, that's when all hell breaks loose. All right. Everybody knows this is a human nature. All right. So the idea is that you would have a person, you would pay a person to go in there and just be that breaking point. That is an agent provocateur. All calamity starts to spill out. That person gets away scot-free, and they knew they were going to get away scot-free the whole time because it was the plan. Okay? And so when you really take time to think about it, okay, somebody's paying this person ain't doing it for free. Right? And if this person is doing it for free, this person deserves all sort of justice. Regardless, he's breaking the law. He's inciting riots. Right? But even more dastardly and even more practically, there's probably somebody paying him. Right? And we got to wrap our heads around this. Right? The cowardice knowing that you're going to start a situation which could very well lead to people's deaths, right, is extremely likely. And not only that, it's going to lead to the destruction of people's livelihoods, guaranteed. Right? Especially small people running small businesses. Right? The big businesses, they're going to be able to come back if they want to, or maybe they won't, and it'll leave that neighborhood destitute. But they'll be able to come back if they want to. The small businesses, hell no. Right? So this guy, he may have, and we'll see if we can get footage of him doing it. The guy with the umbrella may have very well gotten paid by somebody else. And therefore, we start to understand the untold calamity that could spill out. You're kind of responsible for it, don't you think? Because if it wasn't for that breaking point, maybe everybody would have gone home after a while. Maybe they would have figured out, hey, as far as justice, we're not even looking for justice. Oh, guess what? The guy already got arrested. He already got fired and divorced. What else do you want? All right. So, like, of course, it's not about justice. Maybe it would have simmered down. Maybe it would have been all sort of calamity. And there are deaths already. And we're probably going to find out about more deaths that have occurred directly related to these riots. Right? But see, this guy gets away scot-free. Imagine the cowardice. Knowing that he was put there. And imagine the cowardice of the person who can't even do it themselves. They got to pay somebody else to do it. And imagine the calamity and the chaos that spills out. So that's the thing about it. I'm not an expert or whatever. I'm not in the field. But doesn't that person deserve the utmost justice? A lot of people ain't fans of it. But I'm talking about espionage. I'm talking about you're sabotaging the whole country is what you're trying to do. I'm talking about the tallest tree in whatever town you're at. All right? And the most coarse and uncomfortable rope that we can find. All right? And that's all I'm talking about. Personally, and I might be wrong for that. Picture me apologizing for that. And I mean immediately. Alright, and of course we can get banned at any time off of YouTube. Definitely, as far as starting podcasts and this and that, I would say diversify if you can, if you have the technology. Be on all sort of different forums, which is something we're going to try and figure out here. But of course I can get banned off of YouTube for it just expressing this sort of thing. And at this point, just seeing all this sort of calamity, I got to imagine it dies down on a Sunday evening, but maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. My thing is, okay, they're causing a problem. In a hypothetical, if I was the president, if I was Donald Trump, I would come up onto TV today and say, first of all, we're going up into space with SpaceX, and we're going to conquer space and the moon and Mars and stuff. That's the big things that we're aiming for. But also, I heard about all these riots and stuff like that. You're trying to compromise America. There's agent provocateurs, and we know about it. We're on to you, you son of a guns. We've seen you on the videos. And, hey, anybody else wants to have a riot? Because, trust me, these aren't protests. You want to have a riot again? We're just going to shoot you in the chest, in the face area. Shoot you. And we already told you we're going to shoot you. All right? Just don't do it. You come out all you want. In fact, take off your mask. That's stupid. and come out and live your life. Let's have barbecues and block parties and stuff. Let's not burn down our own neighborhoods or anybody else's neighborhood for that matter. We'll shoot you. We're going to shoot you right in the chest. Immediately. We can't wait for one person to jump. All right? We're itching. We got someone with it. We got someone with a very itchy trigger finger. Please do. Give us a reason, because you're compromising America at every angle. Like I said, this is the boy confronting this guy. Let's see what else is in this video. Look, he's trying to attack the cameraman. He's trying to be all discreet. He doesn't want people to see him. He is a coward. He is the worst nightmare of America.
Now check this out.
Can't have that.
There they are.
What is this, Calamity? Everybody with masks on their face. Satanic ritual.
You wear a pink
Obviously.
shirt, you're gonna stand out in a crowd. And there's
Alright, so I'm not sure what he's about to explain, but he's pointing out the guy, the young man in the pink shirt. We don't know if all this could have been staged. We don't know if any of this is real. But let's consider the idea of this being real and legitimate, and that our eyes are not deceiving us. There's a young man in a pink shirt. He seems to be confronting a man walking around in all black. You can't see an inch of his skin, and has an umbrella for some ungodly reason. I guess because it's sunny outside. Doesn't matter. You're completely clothed from head to toe. It's not like the sun is beating down on you. Yeah, it might be very hot, but an umbrella is not going to save you. All right, let's see.
Mr. Umbrella, and there's Mr. Pink Shirt with the pizza box.
He's talking to him. Either he's confronting him or he's just walking with him and in collusion with him. Who's to say? It's kind of ominous. But let's see if we can get a video. I don't know if it had been deleted. We're going to go back to Anaconda Malt Liquor and see if he has the video of the guy actually breaking the windows. Right here you can see in the thumbnail the guy pretty much about to break the windows. A provocateur smashes windows and starts Minneapolis riots. Alright. Is this real? Is it real? If it is, shouldn't we get to the bottom of it? Let's play it real quick. See if it plays real quick. Alright. Look at the people. They're not rioting. These people. Oh, what's that? Breaking glass. Breaking glass. Broken storefronts. This guy's asking him why, it looks like. Or maybe, I don't know, it looks like he's asking him why. That guy's smashing on windows. How does this have anything to do with justice? People have been calling this guy a cop, an undercover cop. Are they wrong? They're like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just a guy with an umbrella. Don't worry about me. I'm just trying to start riots. Look, he's not upset about anything. Obviously, justice is not the cause. All right. Real briefly, we just saw that. We pretty much saw all we needed to see off of that. It's been going very viral and deleted all over the place, especially on YouTube. All right, but real briefly, I want to mention, and it's kind of random. All right, but follow me. Charles Manson. I really don't believe anything that was said about Charles Manson, nor do I have a reason to. You might call me a bad person for saying that. I just don't have any reason to. I don't even see the evidence. All right. But Charles Manson, if we go back to the official narrative and story of Charles Manson, is that he was this mastermind who wanted to start a race war, whatever. He had plans to do it. And therefore, he's the worst of the worst, because America, we all stand together and stuff like that. We don't want to be divided on race. And so he's the worst of the worst for getting people allegedly to do what they did and try to start a, quote, race war, right? This is verbatim everything that they said Charles Manson was trying to do. This guy's trying to do right here. All right, so if Charles Manson is the worst of the worst, we found the latest one. All right, need to go ahead and question this guy. Of course, there's a reason why he's dressed head to toe in all black and a gas mask and looking like Antifa and stuff. All right, So that's really messed up. All right. We do need to get to the bottom of that. And I would say, see, this has been my guess the whole time. And in fact, people may recall that this was attempted only a couple of years ago. You might recall Ferguson. Right? Attempted. It did not succeed. They're attempting it again. It is called premeditated. Right? It is against America. Right? It is people trying to light fuses and see what they get away with. All right. It has, all right, because I don't know how much time we have. Damn, we're already 50 minutes in. All right. There's certain stuff that I got to start getting into today. But I want to jump into the next topic, which is really related. Like I said, it's against America. All right. It's being calculated. It's premeditated. There's certain things that have happened during this situation. And there's certain things that have happened in the corona situation, the whole COVID thing. You might have forgot about that. All right, but there's certain things that had to be premeditated that couldn't have been done on the fly. It's impossible. All right, so these sort of things, we're seeing that that's happened. Everybody on the internet knows full well that Bill Gates has everything to do with it. We got Angela Tate up in the building. Oh, it's one of my favorite. And I mean it. Angela Tate, I meant to respond to a comment of hers a long time ago, but I forgot, and I get all mixed up in my head sometimes. But a sincere shout out to Angela Tate. She's been holding me down for a long time. We're going to go to the comment in a second, but okay. Especially Bill Gates. Especially, that's what I got my money on. And Fauci and everybody, as far as I could tell, everybody's been saying this. Right? And when you trace it all back, you're going to find them. And there, see, it's a whole network of people working in collusion, working in sync with each other, whether they communicate or not, because they hate America so much. And they hate the rest of the world, and they hate human beings, for sure. Right? So the reason we bring them up, people like Bill Gates and stuff like that, people need to wrap their heads around it. Those are the ultimate cowards, right? So imagine that they got money going into the hands of people called agent provocateurs. And people are going to have to backtrack and stuff. All these people are figuring out that agent provocateurs, that this and that some people hate America, people with very deep pockets are trying to bring America down. They're realizing that, well, you're going to have to backtrack because they've been doing that for a while, to including especially Parkland. And see, when people wrap their head around Parkland itself, and there's many other different situations, to include 9/11, to include all sort of Sandy Hook and stuff, when you wrap your head around that situation itself, everything blows to smithereens. Right? You start to realize you're at war because somebody's committing war against you. Had nothing to do with what you're doing. Somebody is trying to put an end to you. All right, and you see their tools, and you see their cowardice. All right, you see people like Bill Gates, for example. Let me just bring him up on Google. All right, so you can see his face. I want to dwell upon his face real quick, and I think it's going to prove to be crucial. And then I'm also going to check out the comments. I'm eager to see what we have from Angela. All right, but click that. All right, look at this guy. I want you to look at this guy before we discuss Tekashi 6ix9ine. Look at this guy, and then you got Mark Zuckerberg off to his right, or head to his left. Take that in. All right, let's take a look at some of the images while we get a chance. Look at this. Look at this person. Remember what I said. All right, and you already knew it before I even said it. It said there's provocateurs, all sort of cowards, chicken neck Nellies, deep pockets, hate America, hate babies. Right? Angela says this. He's an agent. And the umbrella is also symbolism. See, Angela Tate, and I'm not saying this sarcastically, she's got insight onto this sort of stuff. And so when she says this sort of stuff, my ears perk up. All right. So it's going to prove to be very crucial, I think. She's talking about the symbolism of an umbrella. The umbrella did nothing benefit for this guy, right? Nothing. If you're wearing black from head to toe, you don't have to worry about sunshine pouring down on you, because it can not get you hardly with you're wearing all black. All right, but you might suffocate due to overheating, but it's not going to keep the sun off you. The umbrella, it doesn't make any sense. So obviously it would have to do with what Angela Tate's pointing out to be symbolism. because Angela, she knew about this beforehand. She knew it was coming. She already knew about the symbolism, so when they busted out, it doesn't take her but a split second. Look, they had another rainbow one going on in some other CNN footage, another rainbow one. You know, it's kind of interesting. Before we get into the last topic of Tekashi 6ix9ine, it's all sort of rainbows. All right, so if you're talking about symbolism, hey, I can't deny that there's all sort of rainbows when it comes to Tekashi 6ix9ine. I can't deny it. I don't know what to read into it. But she's talking about there was a rainbow one going on in some sort of CNN footage. By the way, your feed is choppy and shit. Damn, that's terrible. Wow. I mean, it is what it is. If it's all choppy, it hasn't been telling me there's any sort of network status. So I really, really hope that the problem is on your end, Angela. All right. I can't say if it is, and I'm not saying that it is, but I sure hope it is. Meanwhile, I'll go back and see if it was all choppy and if I should delete it and just crawl in a ball and start crying. That's the worst thing that you want to hear towards the end of your broadcast is, you know, this whole thing has been choppy and I can't understand what you're saying. Ah, man. That's terrible. It's sounding a bit better now. It might be sounding a lot better now because it's so difficult. It's so strenuous for my system, which is a cell phone. All right. But it's strenuous for it to play videos and have us do the broadcast at the same time. It's so lame because I like to watch videos with y'all. All right. But the thing is, we're so in sync that I'm pretty sure y'all seen these videos even before I show them. So perhaps I can reference them. Hopefully the broadcast gets a little bit better as we wind it down. I want to hear from Angela if she has any time about whatever, if it's about the rainbows or the umbrellas and or whatever. Maybe it has something to do with something else. Before we get out of here, I'd say about 10-15 minutes. I want to talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine, which is not part of the title, so like it wasn't promised. But we're gonna definitely be watching the updates when it comes to that guy. And I know a lot of people, to include Angela, will be like, "Why are you talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine?" I understand that because it almost doesn't make sense, but I'm gonna point out to you why it makes sense. All right. So with that being said, you're looking at Bill Gates. Okay, you see what his game is. He's trying to look like a cuddly old man. He's behind all these things. Him and his friends and his cohorts, to include his wife with the upside down cross, and everybody seen it. She's either a man or very manly looking. God bless her. I love her. But there's no three ways about it. She's either a man or very manly looking. Whatever. God bless her. It's not even a problem for me. But Bill Gates, he's supposed to look like a cuddly old man, right? And that's exactly what we need to dwell upon. That is the wolf we need to be looking for. It's the one who's desperately trying to look normal. And meanwhile, everything that spills out, you realize more and more that he's a part of this thing from normal. He's just trying to look like it. She could be in Kevin Kline. Oh, hell yeah. Did you say Kevin Kline? Kevin Kline? Oh, man, I guess that's pretty damn funny. They should be in the Kevin Kline Club. I'm here to tell you. All right, with her ideals. She could. Okay. Look, just for anybody who hasn't seen it, I'm gonna bring up Melinda Gates. And like I said, I love Melinda Gates and I love Bill Gates. And it'll get me in trouble for saying that. She looks unfortunate. All right, that's the best way to put it. And yes, she goes into these photo sessions and they're photoshopping it as best they can. She's rough when it comes without the makeup and all, the proper lighting. That's a rough looking character, unfortunately. And as time goes on, it only gets rougher, unfortunately. And I don't want to dwell upon it, but it reminds me of, say, Carla Faith, if anybody knows who I'm talking about. All right. They're trying to look wholesome all day. They're trying to do it. All right. So, compare her to Kevin Kline. Oh, I thought you were making wordplay on Calvin Klein. I don't even know who Kevin Kline is. Well, let's check it out. All right. I guess you weren't making this person up. Kevin Klein on the fly with our technology. See if we could do it. Angela does not make up anything. Uh, yeah, I could say, yeah, they look related. Strong chin, like, that's good. I feel like either it would be very hard or extremely easy to knock this person out by punching them in the chin. I mean, that's a large target. But it looks related. Okay, everybody has their preferences. Trust me, they do, and I don't understand them typically. That's whatever. Okay, that's on them. Okay, yes, Kevin Klein. Yes, it's a dead match. Yes, Angela Tate is on it. Look at the nose, she says. Look at the nose. And so some people actually would go to the point of saying that Melinda Gates is Kevin Klein. I know that some people actually would do it. I know they would. And say, oh yeah, she just, like she lives a double life. Okay? So look at the nose. Okay, let's take a real quick. This is a more accurate picture of Melinda Gates. Alright? Hey, people get older. It's alright. Look at the nose. That's interesting. I can't even hate on her. Here's the thing. I would say her nose looks a lot like mine. Maybe my nose isn't that fat, but it's like not small either. Says, I think she is. Angela Tate really thinks that Melinda Gates is living a double life and that she... I don't know. I never know when people are being serious anymore. I have no idea. I just have to take it all with a grain of salt. But who did we just say? Kevin Klein? We got to take a look at his nose now. It's unfortunate. Lots of times we have to play these games. Sometimes it's very obvious. Like Chelsea Clinton looks like Webster Hubble. Kevin, oh, I didn't mean that. I mean like a dead-on match, right? Angela Tate says, are you being serious? Well, I'm not going to ask you to apologize for it, Angela, obviously. I would never dream of it. But I want to ask, just because I got to, if I'm a reporter or whatever, I'm trying to put out information, I have to know, honestly, are you going on oath? If I were to put you under oath, you're saying that this is the same exact person, that he just jumps in and out of a wig, and that's, people said these sort of things. Say about David Hogg and the YouTube shooter. I don't know what we could say. Those sort of things. They say it's the same person. I don't know, y'all. But we're good. Something to consider. I'm saying they look a lot alike. I'm saying Melinda it has an unfortunate face. Alright, you might call me a moderate. You might call me a middle of the road type of person, but that's just my opinion. Alright, it's worth consideration though. Alright, and it's worth just making the note. Oh, this person looks like that person. This lady has a Jay Leno chin. I don't know. They play multiple characters. See, that's what they're talking about. There's some people out there who's playing these different characters. And not to go too long about it, but I want to stress this. I think it's very crucial. Is that to lump me in with people saying that this person is also playing Melinda Gates. That this guy right here is literally playing Melinda Gates. I'm not a part of that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they look eerily similar, and some people do. Okay? But the theory is that these people are actors, basically, anyways, and they spend their whole life lying. And when you think about it, acting basically is like professional lying. I was thinking about it the other day, and imagine this. You go into an interview for a job, doing anything else, anything in the world, right? And they, on your resume, they're looking over your resume, and they see, like, at this one point, your resume says, I'm very good at acting, right? And in that, I'm very good at playing pretend. I'm good at lying about, it's not the truth. I'm good at putting on a scene. I'm good at acting. Alright? I'm very good at it. You're not going to get the job, obviously. Alright? With any job in the world, except for acting. I want to dwell upon that. I'm very good at acting. I'm very good at lying about reality. Alright? So this is why people would get the suspicion about, oh, well, maybe some of these people, all they do is lie and play pretend all day. And they're supposed to be like the most moral of us. It's laughable. Everybody's figured that out. Hollywood is kind of disgusting. And that doesn't mean everybody in Hollywood is disgusting either. Just to say a lot of y'all are. And a lot of y'all are very suspicious. And a lot of y'all, we think that you're playing different characters. I don't think so. But there's people out there who do. As far as their opinion, you're talking about fake news, this and that, what should be censored off the internet? Nothing. Right? They're saying this guy Kevin is Melinda. God bless them for saying that. Right? It's worth a debate. No, any publicity is good publicity at the end of the day. If you're actually putting out good product, it doesn't matter what people say about you. You're still gonna have success. All right? So I stand, to the dying days with anybody who thinks that Melinda Gates is Kevin Kline. I stand with you. I don't agree with you, all right? But it don't even matter. We agree on the big things. We agree on the crucial things. That being said, here's what I want to suggest for you. And shoot, we're already going over the time limit, but I got to get it in, and I'm going to talk about it more, and we're going to get updates because it is crucial. And I know you don't understand why. At first, I wouldn't even understand why. But we're discussing these, quote, actors. No matter if they're actors or not, they're playing and pretending like a Bill Gates. Oh, I care about you. That's why I want to depopulate the earth. We're going to do it through vaccines. Oh, we're going to start in Africa. Oh, I love those people. Oh, this and that. Everybody needs to be tracked and traced. I'm Bill Gates. Don't I look cuddly? I got a pink sweater. All right, that's exactly the chicken neck nellies that you need to be most scared of. Meanwhile, the media points their finger all day long without cease at people such as Donald Trump, for example, at people such as Tekashi 6ix9ine, by the way. And you might say, well, I don't like him. I don't like his style. That is literally beside the point. They keep pointing their fingers at people like Tekashi 6ix9ine, say that's the worst person in the world. That's the person you need to keep your eye out for. They say you need to hide your youth away from this person. He's a bad example. This guy, he's the worst. Look at him. He's got the ladies and their booties are shaking and they're all naked in the videos. This guy's the worst. Listen to the things he says. He's the worst of the worst, the enemy of your children. Okay. Also, if you have small children, they know Tekashi 6ix9ine. They listen to him sometimes. And he impacts their life. Regardless. All right? So you would want to take that into consideration. And with that being said, he's so popular. I think it's important that we get down to the nitty gritty of why he's so popular. Right? Angela Tate says the umbrella symbolism is satanic, just like all the other symbolism. That's true. Satanic. And a lot of people will point at Tekashi 6ix9ine and say a lot of the symbolism around him is satanic. And it's like right on its face. I'm not denying any of this. I want you to see all of this. Right? Yes, there's the rainbow hair, the jewelry, for example, satanic. It looks satanic. But it's important that we note the distinction, right? Okay, so the umbrella symbolism is satanic. Okay, Tekashi 6ix9ine has toted an umbrella multiple times, right? So check this out. Angela says, I think it was The Simpsons episodes years back, Red, White, and I think. What? Red and White, and I think. I'm not sure. Okay, Red and White. It was pertaining to CV linked to the Umbrella Corporation. Gerard is the worst FFS. That's for sure. I'm not sure what that means. Gerard, he is the worst. Who are we talking about? Tell me you're not talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine. Now, as far as symbolism, yes, you could point at Tekashi 6ix9ine and note it all over the place. All right? We need to go beyond that. That's what I'm suggesting for your consideration, just because most people haven't been able to go beyond that. If we're saying Tekashi is the worst of the worst, I'm going to point out to you right now and in subsequent updates why he is not the worst of the worst. Alright? Okay. I'm talking about him. Okay, they've still got, dang it. Okay, let me see. Let me see what she said. Angela Tate says they've still got all the rainbows going on here in the UK, and it's very disturbing. It's disturbing that people are all synced up. Angela says she is talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine. That's why it's very appropriate. We're already over time. Dude, we've been over time for okay, for about 10 minutes. We're gonna make it an hour and a half broadcast just because I gotta put these things out, all right? And God bless anybody for hanging on this long on a Sunday afternoon or something. I appreciate you. Okay, we need to understand this. This is what I would suggest. Okay, Tekashi, he owns the attention of the youth, all right? You might have figured out that the internet is mostly populated by the youth. They're on the internet literally all the time. They're built into the matrix. Okay, a lot of people have had a lot to say about Tekashi 69. A real brief history, the most brief history that I could put forth is he got into some trouble for an underage sexual activity, which I endorse none of it. And he went to court about it and this and that. A lot of people were getting on his case about that. Meanwhile, that whole case got settled somehow. I forget what, but really nothing happened. All right. Meanwhile, I endorse none of that culture. I'm not trying to endorse the culture. I'm not trying to endorse the symbolism with Tekashi, or even imply that he understands what the symbolism is that he's putting off. Okay, but that's his history, right? He's always been very controversial, even if you go back to his early music video days, which were very different actually in style and stuff. You could tell he's honed his style in a different kind of way over the period of time of his success, which has been very short. It hasn't even been that long. Okay, he's always been doing that sort of stuff, and it's very what you would call scandalous. There's nothing about it that's wholesome. He's already grabbed the ears of the youth and has their attention like you wouldn't believe. And it's my suggestion that we judo move that, and in that I don't believe Tekashi is necessarily a weapon against the children, and I'll explain why. All right, first of all, like I said, he's got their ears no matter what. That is reality. For example, if you were to go to his, okay, let's go right now. Let's see if we got what it takes. Go to YouTube and we'll go to specifically one of his latest music videos. I think it's his latest one. I'm still waiting on his next one, which he has promised. All right, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husband, because they trying to rape everybody out here. But, okay, that's definitely the idea that people get when they look at Tekashi. I totally understand why you would think that. Why anybody would think that. I understand why it's right to think that. It is correct to think that. All right, but let's see. If you go to Gooba, for example, it says 16 million. 16 million? What the heck, 2 weeks ago? That number can't be right. All right, let me go into a year ago. It's got 1 billion views. Oh, geez. You got to hide your husbands, too, and I mean it. So does Angela. But, for example, you're looking at the numbers right now. Have you ever seen a video that has 1 billion views? 1 billion? 1 billion. This one over here, right below it, Fifi, has gotten 864 million views. We're talking about numbers that are just dastardly, dude. Who competes with these numbers? Very few people in the world compete with these numbers. All right. I was looking at Gooba, and that's interesting. The one before it, because of this whole jail ordeal, the one before that was this one called Stupid featuring Bobby Shmurda. 215 million views. All right, we're talking about only on YouTube. That's never mind Instagram. That's never mind everything else. Only 2 weeks ago, he has close 16 million. I think that's actually a wrong number. I think they're messing with the numbers. I couldn't say for sure, but of course now it's 17 million. According to YouTube, I really think they're fudging the numbers, and we might talk about that a little bit later, purposefully on Tekashi 69. But he puts out numbers like you wouldn't believe. He has the ears of the youth, regardless of anybody's opinion. Okay. That being said, I want to pose some more history. A lot of people know this, but okay, he runs into some more litigious, not even litigious, but criminal activity, right? And the FBI, about a year ago, cracks down on him. It's all very public. Everything goes to hell in a handbasket within days. Tekashi goes from literally making hundreds of thousands of dollars whenever he wants to now he's in jail. It's all very interesting. All right, a lot of people would say the whole entire thing was made up and it's all for show. it's cool to have that theory, but I think a lot of this is real. And I apologize, but I don't for seeing this and seeing what's happening. All right, so they took him to jail. He got all in trouble. He wound up snitching, if you will, on the gang members he was hanging with. And you might know a lot of people give him guff over that he's not a legitimate gang member. I want to talk about our culture and how it's stupid. Okay? They're like, oh, he's not a gangster. He's not a real gangster and stuff. Now he's going to snitch on his gangster buddies, and he's really messed up. He's the worst of the worst for this. And might I point out that our culture is so stupid? Why would you romanticize these people who's gangsters, these quote gangsters, and they're putting everybody in danger, especially in their own neighborhood? And you're gonna romanticize them all day, and even give Tekashi 6ix9ine guff because he's not a real gangster. That's what you'll always hear. Oh, he's a clown. Yeah, I know he's a clown. All right, he means to be a clown, and he does it very successfully. They say, oh, he's not a gangster. He's not a real gangster. See, Tekashi 6ix9ine, what I like to point out is he's changing all y'all's definition of gangster. He's changing the terminology. He's changing the culture like you wouldn't believe. He's a spitfire. He's a catalyst, if you will, Tekashi 6ix9ine in every way. All right, and we're going to discuss all sort of details throughout time, but I'm going to try and discuss some of them real briefly before we get out of here. Tekashi 6ix9ine owns the youth. Let's think about it. All right, you're saying he's the worst of the worst. Okay, if you were to say he's the worst of the worst, you're basically distracting from people like Bill Gates and everything like that. No, we need to keep a perspective. Who's the worst of the worst? People trying to look wholesome on the outside. People who are police officers. People who are software engineers, so-called, and entrepreneurs who are out there playing and pretending like, oh, they're so wholesome. Meanwhile, you find them doing all sort of child exploitation at the end of the day. That we're demonic creatures. Okay, that's who we need to not target for violence, but target for suspicion, right? And maybe target for a legal, lawful investigation into what the heck they're doing, right? Has nothing to do with Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's like that red blanket that you hold in front of a bull. That is Tekashi 6ix9ine all day, every day. And that's what's important to remember. You might see all sort of symbolism of what he's doing. I can see it too. It's not even about that. It's not even about that. So he went to jail, right? And everybody knows it for about a year or something, a little bit more than that. And he gets out. All his charges of racketeering and everything else. We saw him on Instagram calling for hits on people. Right? I'm not denying. I know. I've researched Tekashi 6ix9ine. So if you think that I don't know some things about him, yeah, I know some things about him. All right. So it's very interesting. I find it very interesting in a way that a Bill Gates would never be so interesting. And let me point that out, for example. Tekashi 6ix9ine is so naturally, organically interesting that nobody can deny it. Whether you hate him or love him does not matter. It's intriguing. Bill Gates is not, and he means to be that way by design. Meanwhile, if you dive into the things he says, they're absolutely dastardly, and he hates human beings, and especially babies, and especially old people. He wants to reduce the population through vaccinations, and he already said that. All right, and all his cohorts and all his colluders. All right, but when we're talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine, let's get back to him. Everybody's hating on him, saying, "Oh, he's bad for the culture. Oh, he's snitching." Your culture is stupid and destructive and suicidal. All right, and I'm tired of it. It's full up with all sort of criminality, and meanwhile, it's not for anybody's benefit. Y'all are all getting the shaft and being violent towards each other. Stupid. Towards your brother, towards people who look just like you too. And you're killing them all in the streets, doing good in places like Chicago, and everybody knows it, and all these other places. During these riots, you're going to see the homicide count on an uptick. I'm here to tell you. Okay, so that's been romanticized. It never should have. Alright, so people look at Tekashi and say, oh man, if it wasn't for these gang members you were hanging out with, you wouldn't be so big. You're actually falling off at that point. Takashi was actually, and you can research it, whatever you come across. I've seen it. Takashi 69's been the mastermind of this whole thing, anyways. It's his idea to, even though he wasn't in the gang, he said, "Look, I know it's gonna hit. I know it's gonna get people's attention, and their attention is gonna equal money. And I'm talking about by the millions. I know what it is." He had a little baby daughter at that point in his life. He said, "Dude, I need to put diapers on this baby. I need to have something happen right now." And for some reason, and I do think it has a lot to do with his daughter being born, it switches off something in your mind. There's a switch that happens and something explodes. Hormones and stuff like it explodes. So he thought his mind somehow became a mastermind. And he said, "I know exactly what the people want." And I'm here to tell you, he gave the people exactly what they want. And we're going to discuss that in further detail in a second. But he said, "I know what they want. Y'all need to get with me. Your whole gang, you're up to whatever shenanigans. You're not making money. I know how to get the money. I know how to get it. You want bags of money? Hey, just follow my lead." And that's exactly what happened. And then they made that music video. I don't know if it's up here, but not even very long ago, the music video that put him on the... See, there's so many videos about it. I forget what's even called. I forget what that music video is called, but he did that one music video. He blew the hell up. He blew the internet up hard. And he just kept doing it. And so we look at the symbolism. We look at, oh, he might be the worst of the worst. Regardless, the reality of the fact is, if you actually look at the numbers, and he talked about it some on the Breakfast Club, on those videos that also went viral. If you look at the numbers, there's no competing with Tekashi 69. Or if you are competing, you're one of very few. And there are people out there, like I like Trippie Redd, and there's certain people out there who I don't agree with any of the culture. It's very violent, suicidal, destructive, emotional, this and that. I understand. It's not really a good message, but however, it's a message that the youth is soaking up and they're accepting and they're endorsing. And it's something to be thought about. These rappers out here, especially the big ones. Tekashi 69 would have to be one of, if not the biggest one. Okay, puts up numbers, and that's because of popularity. That's black and white. That's in front of everybody's face. All right, so he gets off from jail and stuff, and a lot of people, it's very controversial. Regardless, they were there discussing Tekashi 69. All right, it's the difference between somebody discussing you. That means you're popular, and you discussing somebody else. When you're discussing somebody else all day, that means they're popular, not you. Right? And some people call it clout chasing and everything else. When you're discussing somebody else, like Tekashi, when you're discussing Tekashi 69, that means you're not popular and he is. It's in black and white for everybody. So everybody has something that they're like, oh, he's a snitch. Oh, they should get at him. Oh, he's a marked man. Oh, he's not gonna get out of jail, and if he does, he's gonna get rubbed out real quickly. And some people had some sort of joy to express about that, and it was kind of disgusting. You're talking about another person. It's like you don't have any business with this person, and you're claiming that, oh, he should get it. He deserves it. He snitched on people, so he gets what he deserves. Now he's gonna get it. Oh, I can't wait till he gets it. Oh, first of all, we can discuss that in a little bit more detail, but look, anybody in the world is not promised tomorrow. We could all get it. There's a percentage of a likelihood that we might get it today. So to single out Tekashi like, oh, he might get it, he might have it coming, that's kind of lame to talk about anyway. Ran out of coffee. That's terrible. But, okay, so people were lusting after him getting hurt in jail. They're lusting after him getting hurt now. It's in headlines. They're calling out for other people to hurt Tekashi 69 all over the place. All these people are talking about Tekashi because he's popular and they are not. Or they might be popular, but they're not as popular. And that's just what it is. And they're calling for this all sort of things. But first of all, you're talking about people, and just to be real brief about the situation, who seemed like they kidnapped Tekashi 69 before he wound up getting caught up. Kidnapped him, roughed him up, stole money, and we're talking about numbers that a lot of people don't understand. Stole money by the millions probably from Tekashi 69. So why is he supposed to just keep his mouth shut about what they're doing? I couldn't say. because they were doing him wrong at every angle anyways. You might say, well, that's his fault for trusting gangsters. Well, that was a game that he was playing. Meanwhile, Tekashi would have never been so big if it wasn't for that gangster imagery. The youth absorb it just like the youth used to absorb that whole Goodfellas thing. That whole Italian mafia. People liked Scarface, remember? That was very popular. It's all destructive and suicidal too at the same time. It was no less destructive than the gangster culture that you're seeing today. It was just a lead up to it. Alright, so they're saying he didn't follow the G code. Oh, really? The G code? So stupid. Now he's putting it on its ear like nobody else has before. It's unprecedented. Yes, he snitched all y'all out. Yes, a lot of y'all got some big numbers to deal with in jail right now. Yes, this thing is, people expect all sort of retribution on Tekashi 6ix9ine. We're not going to dwell upon it very, very long. But the whole idea is that whoever has the most power is going to be more dominant. All right. I told people for a long time that it's just so we can make it brief and go ahead and close out for today. I got some things to do. But I told people for a long time, of course, you don't want to win the lottery. You don't ever want to come across money, especially in large gobs that you don't, that you haven't worked yourself up to, because money is just kind of a symbol of power, right? And if you get all sort of, and people won the lottery before, and it happens to them every time. Is you got a target on your back. Whoever's got more power is going to take that money from you. Right? That's the whole deal. So, okay, I bring that up just to say the gangsters, the gang members that Tekashi was involved with, although very dangerous, deadly dangerous, will take your life like at the drop of a hat. They also didn't have that, in the whole scheme of things, they didn't have the power of the Italian mafia, dude. They're not as organized as that sort of stuff, or any other mafia for that matter. Mexican mafia, Irish mafia, Jewish mafia, it's all sort of mafias. They don't have that organization, unfortunately. They're the type, unfortunately, that'll kill you at the drop of a hat because you made them emotional. But they don't have. They're not the type to carry out something that's as arduous as this, for example. Okay, let's consider that they wanted to get at Tekashi 6ix9ine. That from jail, they're organized people. They were talking to other gang members who are outside, saying, "Okay, let's put the hit out on Tekashi 6ix9ine." Imagine how hard that would be. Right? Because the fact is, he's making all sort of money for people. I mean, people who seriously got power, to include probably people in the government. Probably all these lawyers. All his lawyers are making mad money. His security details making mad money. And he's got, when you look at the numbers, he's got all sort of money to facilitate it. We don't have time to jump into all the videos. I want to showcase the videos and stuff later, especially the updates. But you can't pour $1 million out on the ground from a duffel bag unless you're kind of balling. Alright, and you have all this jewelry and stuff. A lot of people would say that's fake. I'm here to tell you it's real. Alright, and it might be controversial, but the numbers only support it. And if you're a businessman, and if you're not getting totally bent over a barrel like all these other celebrities back in the day, who got played by all these record labels, who got played by all these TV executives and stuff, they got played over and over. Tekashi 6ix9ine, for some reason, has a genius business brain. And especially a marketing brain. Right? So he comes out, and even though he's a quote snitch, and he snitched all y'all out, okay, you might want to get at him, but you're not exactly making millions of dollars from prison. So who really has the muscle in this situation? If he wanted to and he was smart enough, he would keep y'all pretty well stifled and in your spots in jail, and he would keep an eye on all y'all's affiliates too, just because he has money to do it, and make sure that whatever bridges he can mend, he would do that. Whatever he couldn't mend, he's got a lot of muscle on y'all. So he's kind of turning the game on its ear. He wasn't like a gang member. Y'all used to be all more dangerous than him. Now the tables have kind of turned in an unprecedented way. Some people might say it's all for show. That's muscle. Alright, and you don't have to be the strongest, biggest person to do it. You just have to have that sort of fire up under you. And this broadcast has been too long. I wanted to power pack it into an hour, but let's close it out with this sentiment. I see that there was comments up in the comment section. Check that out in a second. But the fire up under Tekashi 6ix9ine that put him in such a situation, and he's not promised tomorrow. Yes, he's in a world of danger, all right, but he's playing his hand in a way that honestly a lot of people couldn't. Most people couldn't. He's got a fire lit up under him. That fire is inside of you right now if you're going to light it. Are you going to light it? All right. People want to hear from you. When it comes to Tekashi 69, he's so sensational. You're equally as sensational. And Tekashi 69 would be the first one to point that out to you. And I know it sounds wild, but I've seen and I've researched a lot of his videos, and I do want to show you personally the videos that I'm talking about. He knows full well that it's just a fire. It has nothing to do with him necessarily. He's a vessel. And it's all about the fire that somehow it was ignited inside of him that boosts him up. Now he's making moves that although it seems gangster, although it seems dangerous, he's playing his hand like, for example, like a Donald Trump is. And I know a lot of people are looking at Donald Trump and saying, oh, he's faking and pretending. This is a guy who's playing his hand in a way that I can't hate on, dude. He's playing his hand so cool, like Cool Hand Luke. It's unbelievable. So he's gotten himself in a situation. Yeah, he's on house arrest. Yeah, he can't do any concerts, but here's the thing. If concerts start happening, and it looks like they will, I mean, if we can get ourselves out of this distraction that we've been, as far as the racial wars and stuff like that, we need to stop that. But if we could have concerts, if that is a thing that's going to happen, you better bet your bottom dollar that Tekashi 69 is going to jump back into the concert world and blow it up, blow it to smithereens. You bet your bottom dollar. I don't care what's your opinion on Tekashi 69. How about you bet me? How about you bet me if concerts start going on that Tekashi 69 is going to be in concert and it's going to explode? Right? And I know a lot of people wish ill will on him and harm on him and stuff. That's unfortunate. And Tekashi 69 actually knows all about you. He's brought it up before. It's unfortunate that you would wish that on somebody or expect to see that on somebody. He's going to blow up the concert venue if that does happen. That is, if we have concerts in the damn future. All right, turn the whole gangster world on its ear. He did so for a good reason, right? When you study like all the facets of Tekashi 69, it was a perfect storm. And on the next broadcast, I think I'll probably start off by describing to you all the different facets that caused this perfect storm, right? I mean, it was ordained by God. I'm not calling him godly. I'm saying that Tekashi 69 gives reverence to God, like some people don't understand yet. And that is who is responsible for this sensation. Everybody out there is equally sensational. All right. The only difference is whether or not you're going to put it out there, whether or not the switch has been turned on inside you, right? But you're able to turn the world on its whole ear, just like Tekashi 69 did, and he's done it in a way that's revolutionized what it even means to be gangster. It is a perfect storm, and in studying Tekashi 69, we'll start to understand why it is that he is exactly who he is and who he's supposed to be. And in fact, why Tekashi 69, if you were to put it in the most briefest and simplest terms, is a mirror. And that's all he is. He's a bright, shiny mirror of society, right? He's showing all the facets of society embodied in one person, and he's all over the top. And we're going to discuss in all sort of detail the symbolism behind why he is just a mirror. And on top of that, he's a sensation, just like Donald Trump is. Just like for a lot of people, there's a lot of people out there who are just mirrors of society, and you could hate them. You could hate their guts, and you could wake up hating them. You could. It'd be a waste of your time. Meanwhile, you're hating a mirror. A mirror. Let me be clear. You're hating a mirror of society. So you're hating society. And might I suggest that's where you're falling off. And everybody grows. I hope to grow. I'm not right about everything. I'm just saying it's like you're slipping and tripping on hating on a mirror. Meanwhile, there's a reason, and if we understand all the different facets, it'll give us a wild understanding of what is and what is not organic in this world of just unbelievable change that we found ourselves in. All right, we've gone way over time, and I gotta get out of here. I appreciate the crap out of y'all, and I'll holler at y'all a little bit later. It's May the 31st, 2020. Oh yeah, wasn't there comments? All right, hold on. I didn't realize General Sheffer was up in here, but we're getting out of here, you guys. I appreciate everybody for coming out. All right, General and Angela Tate were up in the building. She said, "Please watch my video. Atlanta rioters tell Joe Biden to suck a D." Hey, I already saw that video, and that was up on General Sheffer's channel. Said, "Please watch that video." You in love with Tech Gerard? See, that's what I want to explain, Angela. No, I am not. And that's what I want to stress the most. I'm not in love with Tekashi 69. And I know it might seem like it because I'm dwelling on it. I'm in love with human beings. Right? And just get it clear. Every one of them, to include Melinda Gates, who some people argue that she's not a human being. I'd say she is. And I would say she's a she, and that's unfortunate. All right? I know it's very controversial. But no, I'm not. I'm in love with... I don't want to get weird, but I'm in love with you. I'm in love with y'all in there. I'm in love with the people who's going to come across, and even those people who don't. I'm in love with you if you're a human being. And I just wanted to point that out. What we're looking at is a mirror. It's important that we see the mirror, all right? But also, like I said, going over time, and we're going to ride out and see if we can find General Shefford, that video about, see, we got a problem with buffering, right? And we're going to have to work on that, whatever that means. We also don't know how to work YouTube real quick, but on the fly, we're going to see if we can find... we don't know how to work YouTube. We're going to see... It should be in my history, like I said. I already saw the video you're talking about. So, Agent Provocateur, let's see what we got. Wait, if you can see, there's just some of the videos that I've been looking at today. Already, I've seen a lot of different things, but I know I saw the Joe Biden one on General Shefford. Shout out to Libra Owings. I should have said that a long time ago. Putting out questions. We need to hear questions. All sort of questions. Questions all day, you guys. Even when we get out of here, let's think some questions. Atlanta rioters tell Joe Biden to go S on a D or something. All right, and let's see if we can. Don't buffer all the way. It's going to be terrible audio probably, but we're going to close out on this. You probably can't hear it.
Like, people not going for it no more. They're not going for it. It don't matter black, white, nobody going for it no more.
All right, I don't know if you could hear it or not, but that young gentleman, I don't know if I'm buffering all over the place, but we're trying to get out of here. That young gentleman was saying we're not going for it anymore. And he's talking to Joe Biden for some reason, or media in general. He's like, we're not going for it. Black, white, it does not matter. You keep trying to divide us. Keep trying to instigate stuff. We're not going for it anymore is what he's saying. And it's kind of interesting. Alright, so that guy's going on. I don't know if you can hear it, but he's saying, I ain't never had issues with white people. There's all sort of people coming out with all sorts of skin colors saying, I ain't never had no issues with white people. It is not a race war. We don't like y'all. You're trying to destroy America. Y'all from CNN. Y'all are Joe Biden. And we see right through you. It is too late. Make your worst move because we already know it does not matter. You're trying to defeat us. You're trying to kill all our babies. You're trying to laugh in our face while you do it. It's obvious at this point. And so then he goes on. Let's play the rest of the video. And he tells Joe Biden to S a D. I don't know if you can hear it. But there's all sort of videos out there like that. Oh, that'll get us deleted from YouTube. I don't know if you heard it, but he said S a D, and he suggested for Joe Biden to S a D and in fact die. All right, and I'm not saying that. Yeah, it'll get us kicked off of YouTube, but let's get out of here because we ran out of time. But Angela says the protesteth too much. You protested. Yeah, a little bit. And then demons need division. If you don't hear anything else, demons need division to keep us distracted, to keep us controlled. All right? I wish them the best of luck, and I don't even believe in luck. All these here demons out here, they got a problem on their hands. All right? And it's May the 31st, 2020. I appreciate all y'all, and I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.